exactly the research design, I'm going to tell you about the meaning of a research design and why it is important, right? रिसर्च डिजाइन होता क्या है, पहले तो मैं उसके बारे में आपको बताऊंगी, क्यों ये इम्पोर्टेंट है, इसकी उपयोगिता क्या है और रिसर्च डिजाइन का रोल इम्पोर्टेंस क्या है इन अ रिसर्च प्रोग्राम। वो सारा डिस्कशन मैं आपको इस वीडियो के थ्रू बताऊंगी। रिसर्च डिजाइन क्या होता है? अगर आप कोई रिसर्च प्रोग्राम कंडक्ट कराते हैं तो आपको उससे कहीं ना कहीं अपना ऑब्जेक्टिव फुलफिल होता है, या जो आपकी प्रॉब्लम है उसके सोल्यूशन को ढूंढने के लिए आप रिसर्च प्रोग्राम ऑर्गेनाइज करते हैं। इट मीन्स द डिसीजन रिगार्डिंग व्हाट, वेयर, व्हेन, हाउ मच, by what means concerning an inquiry. It is known as basically research design. The overall about the questions form. अगर आप कोई रिसर्च करा रहे हो, क्या है वो रिसर्च, कहाँ कराएंगे, किन पे कराएंगे और उसका मतलब क्या है कराने का, क्यों आप ये कराना चाहते हो, ये सारा आपको रिसर्च डिजाइन के थ्रू पता चलता है। So research design is an arrangement of conditions for collection and analysis of data in order to meet the objective or a research purpose with your goal. In another word, you can say that research design is the conceptual structure which include the overall collection of and analysis of the data through which you can meet your research objective. Right? Now, why it is important और रिसर्च डिजाइन हम क्यों कराते हैं, इसके लिए आपके सामने ये सारे जो क्वेश्चंस हैं वो आपका मेन इशू है जो आप रिसर्च डिजाइन के थ्रू पूरा करते हो। पहला ये कि आप क्यों स्टडी कर रहे हो और ये स्टडी किसके बारे में है, इसको आप किससे बता सकते हैं? रिसर्च डिजाइन। व्हाई इज द स्टडी बीइंग मेड, वेयर विल द स्टडी बी कैरिड आउट, what type of a data is required for the research program, and where can the required data be found. The next question would be, what period of time will the study include, what will be the sample design, what are the techniques which are using to collection of the data, what will be the data analyzed, and in what style will the report be prepared. These all questions would be solved with the help of the research design. So research design is a important techniques through which you can understand the overall research. Fine. Now there are you can classify overall research design into 4 parts according to the operations of the research design. Right. The first part on this is the sampling design. The sampling design basically deals with the selections of the items from the population on which you are going to conduct the research program or you are going to observe it. This is sampling design. Fine. In a next part of the research design is a observation design, which deals with the condition under which the observations are to be made, and in statistical design basically concerned with the question of how many items are to be observed and how the information and data gathered are to be analyzed. In an operational design, it basically deals with the techniques by which the procedure or a specified in the sampling, statistical and observation design can be carried out. Operational design basically deals with the techniques or the tools which is using to on a specified sampling, and it is one of the operational condition through which you can conduct the research program. These are the 4 types of the research design. Right? What are the important feature of the research design? Basically, it is a plan that specifies the sources and types of information which is relevant to the research problem. You can say in another word that research design is a plan or a strategy through which you can get the information which is relevant for your research objective. Similarly, it is a one of the strategy or a approach which is used for a gathering and analyzing of data, and after that you can interpret the data by using the various constraint as well as controllable factor on this, right? This is whole about your importance of the research design. Now come to the next part of the research design, that is need for a research design, why it is needed, right? First you have to understand what is role or you can say what is basically the importance of the research design, why it is so important for a research program. Actually it is a plan which can be done in advance. It means that is in advance we have to collect data, but before that we are very much clear about that whether the data what you are collected for your research program is relevant for your research problem or not, right? Research design can be understand that it is a one of the plan which can be designed in advance for collection of data as well as analysis for your research problem. It can be understand in another word that advanced planning of the method which is adopted for the collecting of the relevant data and the techniques which is used for the analysis of the research problem, keeping in a view that the objective of research as well as other various factor which is involved for the research program, right? It means this is one of the important technique or a tool through which you can design overall the research program, in which direction you are going to conduct it or how it is relevant for your research objective. So these are basically the need of the research design. Now, what is the features of the good design? This is another topic through which you can understand how the good research design can be good. The first characteristics of this is it it must be a flexible type. It is appropriate, efficient, economical. These are basic characteristics for the good research design, right? Similarly, from the research design, we can get the maximum yield of the information which provide the opportunity for considering many different aspects of the problem. The question of good design is related to the purpose, or you can say the objective of the research problem. Through following factors, we can design the appropriate research problem. The first part in this is the means of obtaining information. Why this information is important for us? So research design can be appropriate, that depend on the what the research problem we are going to conduct. The next in this is the availability and skills of the researcher and his staff, if any. Another objective, what are the objectives of the problem, what we are going to study in the research problem, the nature of the problem, and the availability of the time and money. These all important factor which is important to design the research, as well as it is also important to know about whether we can design a good research for any research problem. Fine. There are few terminology which is used to design the research. Here, I'm going to tell about each and every terminology which is used for a good research design. and you have to knowledge about what are the basically the factors or terminology which we are going to design for a research problem. First thing, that is dependent and independent variable. Dependent variable, where two variables are interrelated to each other, that is known as a dependent variable. And independent variable, where there is a no correlation between a two variable, that is known as a independent variable. Fine. For example, if we are going to explain that like weight, height, income, all are examples of the variables. These are only the variables. Here, this is not quoted as a dependent or independent variable. Here, only the variables, right? Which can be converted into numeric values, that all are considered as a variables, right? Sometime in a research problem, we are considering the qualitative phenomena or attributes or characteristics that depend on which kind of attributes we are considering in research problem. That qualitative phenomena is also, if it is converted into numerical form, that it must be considerable, otherwise it is based on some kind of a biased research. Got it my point? Right. Now the next one part is that the all variables are non-continuous. Sometimes it is continuous, sometimes it is not continuous. Fine. Like if I'm going to tell you about one of the example, like how much the sunlight is important to growth of the plant. Here, there is a plant growth dependency is based on the sunlight, right? Here, both of the variables are dependent. Fine. But still, sometimes there is a no relationship between a two variables, that is known as a independent variable. Right. Now, the next part in this is extraneous variable. Independent variables that are not related to the purpose of the research study, but may affect. Sometime on a dependent variable is termed as a what a extraneous variable. For example, here, if you are talking about any of the hypothesis which is formulated to know about the relationship between a children's gain in a social studies achievement and their self-concept, right? In this case, self-concept is an independent variable and social study achievement is a dependent variable. Intelligence may be as well affect the social study achievement, but since it is not related to the purpose of study, so it is an indirect variable which is considered as a extraneous variable. Right? Now, you can understand it with another way, that the effect upon the dependent variable, but not directly. This is called as a what a extraneous variable. Right. Now, the next in this is control. What is the next terminology which is used in a research design? That is control. One important characteristics of a good research design is to minimize the influence or effect of the extraneous variable. It means you have to control over the design, which minimizing the effect of the indirect independent variable. In a research, if the term control is used to refer to constrain the experimental condition. Fine. Now, one of the another terminology which is used in a research design, confounded relationship. If the dependent variable is not free from the influence of the extraneous variable, the relationship between the dependent and independent variables is said to be confounded by an extraneous variable. When there is an impact of the extraneous variable on dependent variable is considered, then this relationship between whom, like dependent and independent variable, is said to be confounded by the extraneous variable. right? The next one in this is research hypothesis. When a hypothesis is formulated to know about the relationship between the variable of dependent and independent variable, this is known as research hypothesis. It is basically the assumptory or predictive statement that relates to the relationship between independent variable on the dependent variable. Usually, research hypothesis must contain at least one independent and one dependent variable, right? It means which are not to be objectively verified, or the relationship that are assumed but not to be tested are not termed research hypothesis. If there is a relationship which cannot be assumed and not to be tested, these both terminologies cannot be considered as a research hypothesis. Fine. What is experimental and non-experimental hypothesis testing research? There is a two kind of hypothesis testing research is conducted for any research problem. One is known as a experimental and another is known as a non-experimental. In experimental design, independent variable can be manipulated. If there is a control over the experiment, what we are going to hypothesize testing research, it is considered as a experimental hypothesis testing research. Fine. In next part, if we can't manipulate or a control over the independent variable, then this kind of experiment is known as a non-experimental hypothesis testing. For example, like if suppose that a researcher want to study whether intelligence affect reading ability for a group of students, and for this purpose he randomly select the 50 student and test their intelligence and reading ability by calculating the coefficient of correlation between the two sets of these scores. This is an example of the non-experimental hypothesis research, because here the independent variable is intelligence and we can't control the intelligence of the student, or we can't manipulate the experiment. So here the independent variable is non-controllable and it is known as a non-experimental testing of hypothesis, right? This is another terminology which is used in a research design, that is experimental and control group. In an experimental hypothesis testing research, when a group is exposed to use under some condition, it is termed as a control group. But when the group is exposed to some novel or specific condition, it is termed as a experimental group. Here, through one of the example, I am going to explain you, like group A can be called control group and group B is a experimental group if both group A and B are exposed to special involved in a special studies program, then both group would be termed as a experimental group. The last one terminology is known as treatment. The different conditions under which the experiment and control groups are put under the circumstances of a research condition is known as a treatment. The next one is a experiment. The process of examining the truth of statistical hypothesis, which is related to the research problem, is known as an experiment. For example, if we are going to conduct an experiment to examine the usefulness of certain newly developed drug, experiment can be of two types: absolute experiment and comparative experiment. If we want to determine the impact of a fertilizer on the yield of the crop, it is a case of an absolute experiment. But if we are going to conduct one of the program which is related to impact of the one fertilizer as compared to the impact of the some other fertilizer, then it is considered as a comparative experiment. What is last? That experimental unit. The predetermined plots or the blocks where different treatments are used are known as an experimental unit. Such experimental unit must be selected very carefully. These are basically the terminologies which is used for a research design. After completion of the terminology which is used in a research design, I'm going in a next video that what are the different research design through which we can design the research problem, right? Uh, I think that these important terminology which is used in a research design, hopefully you can understand in help of this content. You can get the knowledge about the research design, what is exactly the research design, the need of the research design, and what are the terminologies which is used for a research design. These all points are clear through this video, right? Thank you so much for watching my video. In our next video, I'm going to tell you about the different kinds of the research design, which is whole of the conclusive part of the research design. Thank you so much.